Welcome back to At Home with Heather. Today we are going to unpack what an appraisal gap is. So as a buyer, if you are using a loan, your lender is going to require an appraisal. All an appraisal is a determination of value. So they send out a third party, an appraiser, they come out to the house, they look it over, they take measurements, and then they go back and they compare it to other homes that have recently sold in the area to arrive at what they view the home's market value to be. When the bank gets that appraisal back, the comps that they show, the comparable properties, will either support the sales price, or sometimes they'll appraise it and say that it's worth more than the sales price. But the one that we really worry about is if it appraises lower than the sales price. This is an issue because if you go under contract on a home, let's say for $250,000, and you get the appraisal back and the appraisal says the home is only worth $240,000. The seller is expecting $250,000, but the bank is only going to give you $240,000. You see the problem? We have a $10,000 gap there. That is where an appraisal gap comes in. Buyers are writing into their offers now, not always, it depends on the situation. And we're seeing appraisal gaps a lot where in the initial offer, a buyer says that they're willing to pay X amount over the appraisal if the appraisal comes in low. Again, if the appraisal comes in at the market value or above, no problem, you're good to go. The appraisal gap is only for when the home comes in lower than what the purchase price is. So sellers will like that term because they have a guarantee that if for some reason their home doesn't appraise, the sale is going to move forward because the buyer is bridging that gap. Now, in a buyer's market, that gap would typically be bridged by the seller or some meeting of the minds, some type of term. But oftentimes in this crazy competitive seller's market we have, we're seeing buyers offer to bridge that gap. Now, some of you may be concerned because you don't have extra money sitting around if your appraisal comes in low after you make your down payment, after you pay for your closing costs. Again, this is just one tool in the toolbox that you don't always employ. That is where having an agent sit down and strategically go over offer terms and what is going to make the most sense for this house at this particular time is crucial. If we can help you with that, please reach out to us. We would love to know in the comments below a couple of things. Have you ever used an appraisal gap? Would you use it? Or what questions do you have? We want to be a resource and a guide to you with all things real estate, so please keep in mind we're always here to help.